Beneath a restless Pacific dawn, a storm of sonar pings danced across the ocean's deep black canvas. Dr. Lena Morales stared at the monitor. One signal pulsed differently, like a heartbeat beneath the crust of the world. "That's no fault line," she whispered. The crew leaned closer. The echo didn't fade, it answered. Hours later, as Lena descended into the cold abyss, the beam of her helmet light sliced through endless blue, falling toward an impossible shimmer trapped under the seabed. The closer she came, the more the ocean seemed to hum. Low, resonant, aware. Was this a cavern? A void? Or something watching back? Bubbles drifted upward like glass beads as the seabed rippled beneath her fins. Then the sand split open, revealing a smooth, translucent dome breathing faint light. Her voice trembled through the comms. "There's a bubble under the floor." And as her fingers brushed its surface, the ocean around her fell completely silent. But what she saw next defied all logic. Lena's voice cracked through the comms, echoing faintly in Kai's headset. "Pressure's stable, but there's movement inside the structure." The seabed beneath her boots trembled, not violently, but rhythmically, like a slow, deliberate pulse. She shone her beam through the faintly translucent dome, revealing tendrils of air trapped beneath its surface, twisting as if alive. Kai swam closer, camera rolling, his breath sharp in the mic. "It's breathing," he muttered. From above, Captain Shaw's voice broke in, static-filled, uneasy. "Surface readings show a pressure drop. Morales, back off." But curiosity anchored her. For one suspended moment, she saw something beyond the shell. A dark shape, human-sized, drifting inside the glowing air pocket. The ocean seemed to hold its breath with her. Then the pulse stopped. The light faded, and a deep vibration, low and ancient, rolled through the trench. Inside the control room, Dr. Elise Tran studied the live feed with trembling fingers. The data refused to make sense. Oxygen spikes, negative pressure gradients, magnetic reversal. "It's not geological," she whispered. Captain Shaw frowned, eyes glued to the sonar. The dome's outline was expanding, but only on their screens. In reality, Lena and Kai saw no movement at all. "We're seeing two realities," Elise murmured. Lena's breathing grew faster as her sensors flickered, timestamps looping, readings repeating seconds that never happened. "It's like the moment is folding," she said. "We're inside a skip." A tremor rattled the hull. For a fraction of an instant, Lena's feed froze. Then a flash of light illuminated the figure within the bubble. It wasn't floating anymore. It was standing, facing her. 986 characters. Lena tried to steady her breath. "Kai, tell me you see that." His voice came through ragged, barely a whisper. "It's moving." The figure inside the bubble turned, slowly, fluidly, and as it did, the light shifted from gold to pale silver. The seabed shimmered like quicksilver. "Surface, we have motion," Lena reported, though her voice sounded distant, warped. Captain Shaw's reply fractured through static. "Negative. We read no movement. Repeat, none." But the figure kept turning until it faced Lena completely. There were no eyes, no face. Just a smooth reflection of her own image staring back. Then, without warning, the dome contracted slightly, exhaling a stream of bubbles that spiraled upward like escaping ghosts. "It's responding to us," Elise whispered from the surface, heart pounding. "But responding how?" The silence was unbearable. Then the dome pulsed once. An enormous, soundless heartbeat that rippled through the water, shaking every instrument. Lena's lights flickered. Kai's camera lens warped, as though the very water bent around it. "We're losing visuals," Captain Shaw shouted. But the signal didn't cut. It split. On half the screen, Lena hovered before the bubble. On the other half, she was inside it, surrounded by swirling light. Elise gasped. It's not an image, it's simultaneous. Lena felt the pull, a subtle current drawing her hand toward the dome's surface again. The hum deepened into a resonance she could feel in her bones. If this is a natural formation, she whispered, then nature just rewrote its own rules. The dome flickered once more, then went completely dark. For 3 long seconds there was nothing. Then Lena's voice returned, calm but hollow. It opened. The ocean floor split with a low groan that seemed to vibrate through Lena's chest. The dome didn't shatter. It peeled, like layers of skin parting to reveal a hollow interior. A stream of silver bubbles rose from the opening, shimmering like liquid stars. It's open, Lena whispered again, voice trembling between awe and fear. Kai drifted beside her, steadying the camera, though his hands shook. Pressure's holding, he muttered, but that's impossible. Inside, the bubble revealed a vast cavern glowing faintly blue, air swirling like mist trapped under glass. No currents, Lena said. It's stable. From the surface, Dr. Tran's voice broke through static, analytical but shaking. That space shouldn't exist. It's under 10,000 tons of pressure. Lena hesitated only a second before pushing forward. Then let's find out why it does. She drifted through the opening and vanished into the light. The moment Lena crossed the threshold, everything changed. The water vanished, not drained, but stopped. Her limbs floated freely, yet no resistance pressed against her. She hovered inside a sphere of suspended mist, gravity unsure of its own direction. Surface, she whispered. I'm inside. Her voice echoed infinitely, overlapping itself in delay. Kai's signal crackled through. You're reading off the charts. Oxygen, humidity, everything's Earth-like. She turned her wrist display, seeing data spin in loops. It's an atmosphere pocket, she said softly. But as her boots touched the ground, she realized it wasn't rock. It shimmered, faintly reflective, like metal flowing beneath her weight. The floor breathed, pulsing faint light that traced her shadow outward into infinity. It's alive, she murmured, not sure if she was talking to Kai or to the thing that heard her first. Kai followed, his body trembling as he breached the dome's opening. The instant he entered, his depth gauge spun wildly, readings collapsing to 0. No pressure, he said. None. His voice drifted oddly, multiplied by echoes that seemed to come from behind him. Lena? Do you hear that? She turned. The air vibrated faintly, forming low-frequency waves, visible in the light. It's sound, she said, but not ours. He lifted his camera. Through the lens, the space appeared larger. Vast hallways stretching beyond sight. That can't be real, Kai breathed. It's bending perspective. The mist condensed briefly into shapes, figures, faces, then nothing. Lena's hand hovered near the wall, feeling the same heartbeat rhythm she'd heard through the sonar earlier. It's communicating, she said, eyes wide, not to us, but through us. Back on the vessel, Captain Orenshaw's patience snapped. They're too deep, he barked, gripping the console as alarms flickered red. Pull them out. But Dr. Tran was transfixed by the readings. The signal from inside isn't bouncing, it's absorbing. The structure's taking in our transmission. Shaw turned sharply. You mean it's listening? She didn't answer. Instead, she magnified the data, revealing a pattern. Waveforms repeating in exact rhythm with Lena's heartbeat. That's impossible, she whispered. Then her screen flickered, showing Lena's vitals syncing with Kai's. 2 rhythms, now 1. Captain, she said, her voice low. They're being synchronized. The realization hit both of them at once. The structure wasn't just alive, it was linking with them. And if that link deepened, There was no telling which side would remain real. Within the bubble's hollow sky, Lena raised her helmet, her breath fogging the visor. "Kai," she whispered. "Look!" Across the mirrored floor, their reflections began to move. Out of sync, the duplicates mimicked their gestures but with slight delays, half a second behind reality. The floor's pulse grew brighter, matching the rhythm of their movements like a living metronome. Kai stepped closer to his reflection, and it smiled before he did. "It's predicting us," he said, voice shaking. "It's ahead of time." Lena felt the domes hum rising again, vibrating through her suit, through her bones. "We're not just in another environment," she realized slowly. "We're standing inside a recording of reality itself." Her visor display flashed red. Data overload. Signal corruption. Then everything froze, except their reflections, which kept moving. The stillness shattered as Lena's sensors reignited, flooding her visor with cascading data. Time error detected. The display repeated endlessly. Around her, droplets of mist began to rise instead of fall. Kai floated motionless, mesmerized by the phenomenon. "It's reversing," he breathed. Their reflections below flickered faster, now several seconds ahead, predicting every motion before they made it. "This isn't reflection, it's feedback," Lena realized. "The space is processing us." Dr. Tran's voice broke through the static. "Lena, Kai, your telemetry's diverging. You're aging at different rates." Silence. Kai turned slowly toward her. "What does that mean?" "It means one of you is moving faster in time." The light in the chamber dimmed, then pulsed once, like a heartbeat syncing to a rhythm only the void could hear. Lena's mind raced. "We're inside a temporal field," she whispered. "And it's learning." Dr. Tran's fingers danced over the controls, trying to stabilize the signal. "Captain, look at this," she said, zooming in on Lena's biometric data. The graph wasn't linear, it looped, forming a repeating spiral. "She's caught in a temporal recursion," Tran muttered. Every 30 seconds her vitals reset. Shora exhaled sharply. "So, she's reliving the same half-minute." "Yes, and each loop deepens." On the screens, Lena's voice fractured into layers, overlapping versions of herself, whispering through static. "It's echoing memory," Tran said, like the bubbles replaying her consciousness. Shaw gripped the radio. "Morales, can you hear me?" Silence. Then Lena's voice, hollow but calm. "It remembers us?" The lights in the control room flickered. The lights in the control room flickered. For a brief instant, their reflections appeared in the glass, standing not where they were, but behind themselves. Inside the chamber, Lena felt pressure build within her helmet. Not physical, but cognitive, as if thoughts carried weight. "Kai," she whispered. "Listen." The air hummed softly, forming a pattern that resembled a human voice, but not in words. It pulsed with meaning. Kai closed his eyes. "It's trying to speak." Their lights flickered in sync with the rhythm, forming a sequence of flashes, binary and deliberate. It's language, Lena realized. Frequency modulation through visual feedback. They began decoding it, each pulse mapping to a symbol on Lena's HUD. The translation formed slowly, not now, before. "Before what?" she whispered. The mist stirred violently, and their reflections began to multiply across the mirrored floor. Dozens of versions watching them. The next message pulsed brighter. "You were here." Lena's pulse thundered in her ears. "It's saying we've been here before," she murmured. "But how?" Kai turned toward her, his eyes reflecting the pale light from their shifting copies. "What if this time here isn't linear?" he said. "What if the bubble's memory is a loop, and we're inside it?" Above them, the dome pulsed like a living clock, each beat erasing a layer of the world outside. From the ship, Tran's voice grew faint, your position's distorting. The bubbles expanding. Lena looked up through the rippling light. The ceiling seemed infinite now, bending outward as stars blinked through the water's veil. It's opening, Kai said. To where? Lena hesitated. Maybe not where. Maybe when. The word echoed endlessly, as though the chamber itself repeated it, trying to understand its meaning. A sudden vibration rattled Lena's suit, followed by the deep hum of shifting frequencies. It's collapsing, Kai shouted. But the chamber didn't shrink, it folded inward, like a sphere turning itself inside out. Lena's sensors screamed. Field inversion detected. She grasped Kai's arm. If we stay, we'll be caught between moments. They turned toward the opening, but it no longer led back to the ocean. Instead, through the fissure shimmered a moving vision. The same chamber, empty and ancient, its walls fossilized and dark. That's us, Lena whispered. The bubble wasn't showing the past. It was creating it. This place doesn't remember time, she said, voice shaking. It builds it. The hum grew deafening, light engulfing them both. Then everything went white. The white light dissolved into shadow. Lena gasped, disoriented, her boots striking solid ground. Around her, the chamber was still, but darker, colder. The walls no longer shimmered. They pulsed faint red, like veins carrying molten light. Kai? She called out. No response. Static crackled through the comms. Then his voice, faint and broken. I'm here, but everything's inverted. She turned toward his voice and froze. Kai stood only a few meters away, yet his body shimmered like a reflection caught between surfaces. You are out of phase, Lena said softly. You're not in the same moment as me. From the surface, Dr. Tran's voice echoed, urgent. Lena, the anomalies field just duplicated your signal. There are two of you reading simultaneously. Lena's pulse quickened. Two versions. Existing now? Not now, Tran said. Opposite now. Captain Shaw's knuckles whitened as he steadied himself against the vibrating console. We're losing containment, he barked. The sonar image warped into chaotic spirals, showing multiple copies of the same signal overlaying each other. Dr. Tran adjusted the filters, eyes wide. It's like two timelines folding together. On the monitors, Lena and Kai appeared side by side, but one version moved slower, frames stuttering, as if caught in syrup. If that merge completes, Tran said, it could erase one version completely. Shaw slammed a hand on the panel. Then we pull them out. You can't, Tran whispered. The bubble isn't a place anymore. It's an event. She pointed at the readings, which now formed a perfect sine wave looping endlessly. We're watching a living equation hold itself together. The captain's voice dropped to a whisper. Or hold us. Inside the anomaly, Lena reached out toward Kai. Her hand passed through his shoulder like smoke, leaving ripples of light. You're a half a second ahead, she said softly. He looked at her, eyes filled with quiet fear. Then you're behind, he replied. They both smiled faintly, the absurdity grounding them in something almost human. But then the chamber began to tremble again. The air bent inward, revealing layers beneath the metallic floor, ancient carvings, spiraling geometric marks glowing from within. Lena knelt, brushing her glove across one. These aren't natural, she whispered. They're designed. Symbols pulsed faintly under her touch, rearranging themselves into patterns that looked eerily familiar. They're matching our DNA structure, she said in disbelief. The carvings glowed brighter, synchronizing with their heartbeats. Whoever made this, Kai murmured, knew we'd find it. Dr. Tran's voice shook as she decoded the energy readings. It's broadcasting on quantum frequency bands, she said. This isn't just an anomaly. It's communicating through particle entanglement. Shaw frowned. Meaning, she said. It's sending data faster than light. She turned toward him, realization dawning. It's rewriting local physics, The captain's face hardened. If it spreads, then the laws of reality bend wherever it touches. On the feed, Lena's silhouette appeared distorted, light stretching her outline like elastic. Tran stared in silence. "It's not distorting her," she whispered. "It's absorbing her data." Shaw swallowed hard. "So, if it learns enough?" Tran nodded slowly, eyes wide. "It could replicate consciousness itself." Outside, thunder cracked over calm seas as instruments surged with static, signs that the breach below was growing. Lena felt her body tremble as the walls closed in with slow inevitability. The red glow brightened into white, casting no shadows. "Kai," she said, "we have to move." But he stood still, transfixed by the shifting light. "It's showing me something," he whispered. "Memories." She turned, and saw it too. Images flickered within the walls. Not their reflections, but scenes of Earth's earliest oceans. Volcanic tides, molten skies, lightning carving life from chaos. "This is origin data," Lena said, awed. "The memory of the planet." But then the scene shifted. Futures this time, cities underwater, continents erased. "It's not a warning," Kai said quietly. "It's a record. It's a record, beginning to end." The chamber pulsed one final time, and the light collapsed inward, forming a sphere between them, spinning faster until it vanished. Silence followed. Then Lena whispered, "It just erased itself." The moment the chamber collapsed inward, Lena felt the air itself pulse like a heartbeat in her chest. Shadows stretched across the metallic walls, moving without cause, flickering independently of her helmet lights. "Kai, do you see that?" she whispered. He didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on a faint shape drifting behind the mist. It was human-like, but impossibly tall, elongated in ways that made her brain protest. From the surface, static crackled in Dr. Tran's earpiece. "Lena, your vitals are spiking. Your heart is." The word stopped mid-sentence as the reflection on the chamber floor split, forming multiple versions of both divers. Lena reached for Kai, but her hand passed through him. The walls pulsed again, low-frequency hum vibrating through her bones. It was clear. The bubble wasn't just alive. It was reshaping reality itself, bending physics around its own will, and nothing would remain untouched. Kai's voice cracked. "It's showing memories again." The chamber walls glimmered with faint images of people they didn't know. Lost civilizations, travelers, unknown faces frozen in time. Lena's pulse thudded in response, almost synchronizing with the rhythm of the walls. "Not memories. Imprints," she corrected, voice low. "It's storing consciousness." Mist curled and danced, forming shapes of animals and humans, then vanished, leaving only echoes. The pulse grew stronger, shaking loose sediment and debris. "It's alive," Kai said, dread lacing his words. "Not just alive, it's sentient." Lena swallowed hard. "And it's angry. Or afraid. We don't belong here." Every vibration of the floor, every flicker of light, seemed to communicate a warning. Leave or be absorbed. The reflection beneath Lena split further, twisting unnaturally as though mocking her movements. "It's testing us," she whispered. Kai reached for her hand, and both saw multiple copies of themselves reaching, grasping, and never connecting. The chamber hummed, each vibration embedding itself deeper into their nervous systems. Suddenly, a shadow detached from the wall. A figure standing upright, its form half fluid, half solid. Lena's breath caught. "It can shape its body," she said. "We're not the only consciousness here." The figure mirrored them briefly before dissolving into light. "This is a warning," Kai murmured, voice trembling, "or an invitation." The walls pulsed again, faster, synchronized with a rhythm neither of them had ever heard. Alive, deliberate, and undeniably intelligent. From above, The surface team watched in horror. Dr. Tran's hands flew over controls as alarms screamed. The bubbles expanding faster than expected, she shouted. Captain Shaw's face was pale, lips tight. How big? He demanded. Impossible to measure, Tran said. It's enveloping our instruments, rewriting our sensors. It's self-propagating. Below, Lena and Kai felt the floor ripple beneath them, stretching like elastic, twisting the chamber into shapes they had no words for. It's fracturing the environment, Lena said, voice trembling. Every movement we make, it copies, adapts, and multiplies. A low rumble grew, vibrating through every molecule of their suits, their bodies, their minds. The bubble was no longer just a bubble. It had become an unstoppable force, one step ahead of them, alive in thought and memory. Lena's heart pounded as the chamber shook violently, ripples bending her vision. Kai, we have to go now, she shouted. He hesitated, watching shadows twist into shapes from their own memories. Laughs, fears, regrets manifested in the air. Lena gritted her teeth. It's feeding on us. Every hesitation strengthens it. Their reflections multiplied into infinite loops beneath them, overlapping, merging, then splitting apart. Lena grabbed his arm. The mist swirled violently, and suddenly the chamber floor cracked beneath them, revealing a deeper layer glowing with pale silver light. The air hummed in resonance with their combined heartbeat. This is it, Lena whispered wide-eyed. The fracture point. A pulse surged outward, knocking them both back, as if the anomaly itself had drawn a line. Cross it, or be left behind. The fissure beneath them widened, silver light spilling upward like molten crystal. Lena's heart raced. Every heartbeat echoed unnaturally through her suit. Kai gripped her arm, eyes wide as he saw shapes forming in the glow, organisms suspended in the air. Not aquatic, not human, but something in between. They drifted like jellyfish, translucent and radiant, each pulse synchronized with the dome's heartbeat. This isn't natural, Lena whispered. It's preserved life, trapped, maybe for millennia. The air thrummed, vibrating with the resonance of countless unseen lives. Dr. Tran's voice crackled in their comms. You're seeing early Earth, or maybe something older. Elemental compositions we've never cataloged. The chamber trembled violently, and Lena realized they were standing inside not just a time capsule, but a living archive. The chamber pulsed faster, each beat accelerating the floating creature's movement. They're alive, Kai breathed, mesmerized and terrified. Lena reached out, fingers passing through a drifting organism that glowed like a miniature sun. Not just alive, they're conscious, she murmured, and they're aware of us. The walls began to quiver, showing holographic-like images of long-extinct ecosystems. Towering plants, creatures with multiple limbs, skies burning with auroras. It's a library of life, Lena realized. Everything this bubble has collected, it's keeping. Like a memory. The pulse intensified, vibrating through her bones. A shrill hum resonated in their helmets. Then one organism glowed brighter, projecting a scene. A planet of diamonds, sparkling oceans, and impossible structures. It's showing us worlds that could be, Kai whispered. The fissure widened, revealing an inner core. A swirling mass of energy and matter, glowing like liquid starlight. Lena and Kai were drawn toward it, their suits vibrating with gravitational anomalies. It's a cradle of everything, Lena whispered, unable to look away. Within, suspended organisms rotated slowly, surrounded by air that shimmered like glass. This is where it stores life, Kai said, voice trembling. Lena's HUD displayed impossible readings. Elements unknown to science, isotopes that shouldn't exist. It's not just a bubble. It's A universe contained, she realized. From the surface, Doctor, Tran's voice broke in, urgent and awestruck. If it collapses, if the core destabilizes, the pressure alone could erase half our instruments. And maybe us. Lena swallowed hard, eyes fixed on the glowing center. We're inside creation itself. You were tyranny in south. Suddenly, the core pulsed violently, sending waves of light and energy outward. The organisms twitched, suspended air rippling around them. Lena grasped Kai's arm as a sudden gravitational shift pinned them against the chamber floor. "It's unstable," she shouted. "We need to get back." But as they moved, the walls reshaped, corridors folding inward, reflecting infinite versions of themselves. "It's adapting," Kai yelled. "Every step we take, it learns." The pulse intensified, almost deafening, and Lena realized the bubble was no longer passive. It was actively experimenting, testing, assimilating. Every molecule, every heartbeat, every reflection of them was now part of it. "We can't just observe," Lena said. "We are part of it." The chamber trembled violently, light fracturing across the walls as the pulse reached a crescendo. Lena and Kai hovered above the swirling core, suspended between awe and terror. "We have to leave," Lena said, voice resolute. Kai nodded, reaching for her. Together they swam toward the fissure, but the chamber resisted, gravitational currents twisting their trajectory. Behind them, the organisms glowed brighter, trailing light that formed fleeting visions of alien worlds and ancient oceans. "It's letting us go," Lena realized, gasping, but it remembers everything. The moment they crossed the fissure threshold, the chamber imploded in silence, leaving nothing but the soft murmur of the ocean above. Lena surfaced first, camera intact, her suit streaming silver bubbles. She gasped, eyes wide, whispering into the comms, "It's gone, but it knows us." Lena broke through the ocean's surface, the cold morning air burning her lungs as she gasped for breath. The waves around her shimmered faintly, reflecting golden sunlight that felt almost unreal. Kai followed closely, exhausted but alive, eyes wide with disbelief. The vessel loomed above like a silent sentinel, instruments still sparking from the residual energy of the collapse below. Lena stared down at the seabed, now smooth and unbroken. Yet the memory of the glowing chamber and its suspended life burned in her mind. "It's gone, but not gone," she whispered. From the surface, Doctor, Tran's voice cracked with relief and wonder. "Are you both all right?" Lena swallowed, voice trembling but resolute. "Yes, but the ocean remembers, and it's keeping secrets that humanity isn't ready to understand." A ripple crossed the water, faint yet deliberate, as if acknowledging her words. Back on the ship, Captain Shaw exhaled, gripping the railing as Lena and Kai clambered aboard. "Never seen anything like it," he muttered. Lena removed her helmet. Dark hair plastered to her face, green eyes haunted. "It wasn't just a discovery," she said quietly. "It was a lesson. Time, life, consciousness, all collected in a single living structure beneath the ocean." Kai lowered the camera, reviewing the footage. "It shows worlds we'll never reach. Life will never meet." Dr. Tran appeared beside them, pale but exhilarated. "You survived something no one could explain. But the data, Lena, it's invaluable." Lena shook her head slowly. "Some things aren't meant to be cataloged. Some things are meant to be experienced and remembered." The ocean below seemed calm, but Lena could feel it pulsing, subtly alive, like a slow heartbeat memory. "Do you think it will ever repeat?" Kai asked softly, eyes on the horizon. Lena's gaze followed him, thinking of the glowing organisms, the suspended life, the swirling core. "I don't know," she admitted, "but it will remember us. And maybe one day it will show something new, something unimaginable. Silence fell over the deck, broken only by the gentle slap of waves. The crew shared a quiet understanding. Some mysteries were not meant to be solved, only respected. Lena pressed her hand to her suit, feeling the faint vibration from her dive, a lingering echo of the anomaly beneath. Like a secret heartbeat, the ocean kept just for her. As the ship sailed toward open water, Lena reviewed the footage from the dome. Every frame shimmered, organisms captured in fleeting glimpses, patterns in the walls, hinting at civilizations lost and yet unborn. "It's a memory archive," she murmured, tracing the glow of the holographic images with her finger. "And we touched it. We became part of it." Kai watched silently, awe replacing fear. "Do you think anyone will believe this?" Lena shook her head, smiling faintly. "Belief doesn't matter. Understanding doesn't matter yet. All that matters is what we carry back with us." She felt the pulse under the ocean floor one last time. A subtle vibration, a reminder that some knowledge could not be contained, only felt, respected, and remembered. Even as the expedition moved further from the site, Lena couldn't shake the memory of the bubble, of suspended life, of time and reality bending around them. The ocean seemed to hum faintly, as though holding its breath, keeping a secret it had waited eons to reveal. "We didn't just explore," she whispered to Kai. "We witnessed the impossible and survived." He nodded, eyes still wide, voice soft. "And it knows us." Lena stared down at the water, waves rippling in silver patterns, the faintest shimmer beneath hinting at what remained. "Some questions will never have answers," she said, voice resolute. "But the universe remembers, and so do we." Silence fell over the deck, punctuated only by the rhythmic pulse of the ocean, an eternal echo of what lay beneath.